Hey all, welcome back. This is a little share. It's actually an extraction from the longer format of the live Q&A recently. And I thought this question and answer might be generally helpful for some people. I'll try to have it kind of defined in the title so that you're only clicking on it if it's something that will be useful to you in your claim or your post-claim activity with the SSA with regard to other Social Security disability, SSI dependent benefits, or retirement benefits, or anything else that could touch on the Social Security world that we all swim in right now. So I hope it helps, and I will talk to you later. If you ever want to be there live, that would be Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the usually about 2 hours Q&A session, so anybody can ask their Social Security questions if they so desire. Okay, I will see you then. Bye, guys. I filed in September 2022. The date was April of 2022. Does that mean I'll get back pay for that entire time minus the 5 months? I filed. Now, when you say your onset date, was that your alleged onset date? If you got an OTR and you did not change your alleged onset date, the only way a judge can give you an OTR and not allow you a hearing is if he gives you a fully favorable, which means he agrees with your alleged onset date. So let's assume that's what happened here. Her alleged onset date was April of 2022. He found it to be April 2022, June, July, August, September, unpaid of 2022, first back payment October of 2022 to the present. You're going to get a nice chunk of change. Good for you. Use it well. So yes, I believe you'll get back pay for that entire time minus 5 months if what I'm understanding from your facts is correct. So you just saw a little clip from one of our live Q&As. It might leave you more questions, particularly if you had a little piece of that applied to you and some more facts that would make things different. If you do, feel free to put a comment down below about the extra details, and we could maybe even make a video on the particular aspects of that you'd be interested in. So in any event, I hope to see you on Wednesdays, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and also 9 a.m. every day. We have a share from the field, so to speak, of things that happen in our workday. So hope to see you then, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. What is the 5-month grace period? We call it the 5-month waiting period. That's more of an SSA field term. So let's get into it. The 5-month waiting period applies to, I will say all, but there is a single exception someplace, but I won't go into it. So it generally applies to everyone who prevails on a Social Security disability claim. They will have a 5-month waiting period. Those that prevail on an SSI claim, the 5-month waiting period does not apply to SSI. Okay, so what does it mean for the SSD people? If the SSA finds that you are disabled as of a certain date, so let's say it's January 15 of 2024, your 5-month waiting period will be the first 5 full months after the date of onset that they found. The date of onset that they found is also known as the established onset date, and the acronym is EOD. So if it's January 15th, they found that the evidence on January 15th established that you were disabled on that date, not before that date, and it did continue after, but that was the first date it was established. So your 5 full months of waiting period would be February, March, April, May, June. Waiting period through June. That means your first benefits owed would be July. You don't get paid, even though you're disabled, for those 5 months of the waiting period. This is then what is going to affect, of course, your back benefits. Or if your waiting period has not expired yet, and that happens sometimes too. You prevail, they say, yeah, you're disabled as of last month. You can expect your first check next, July. Then, you'll have to wait until July to get a check, and that'll be your regular check, your monthly check. There will be no back benefits. There's been some hype a little bit lately about a lot of decisions being seemingly while awarded, not on the date that the claimant has claimed, but at some subsequent date, such that they either don't get back benefits or they're very, very small. Now, in theory, of course, if the established onset date is correct and you really didn't have the goods, maybe you filed a little too fast, you just didn't have all your ducks in a row, and we do go into some strategic filing that can avoid. That is what's going to happen. If you don't have the evidence, you can't expect to prevail on a date that you want. You have to prove it. But there's been some disgruntled among us, a little bit myself included, that it seems like there's been some awards that seem a little bit later than when they should have been based on the evidence. And of course, that saves the Social Security Fund monies. So guess what you don't have to do? You do not have to convince Congress to, fund more. You just keep some staying in. So, the federal government doesn't have to make some tougher decisions to save money. They just cut the disabled off at the knees on their back benefits. Not saying that that's purposeful, just saying that this is actually what's happening, or seems to be. And it does perhaps jibe with some earlier rumors about getting more serious about awarding on initial and recon, so that people don't have to go all the way to ALJ hearing when really, the writing was on the wall that they should have been awarded earlier. Oh, so they're awarding you earlier, but they're not going back to when you say you were disabled necessarily. And of course, this is just, I want to say anecdotal. I don't have any reports. I don't have any SSA shares on it and I don't expect to. But anywho, just wanted to share that the 5-month waiting period, everyone's stuck with it. It is, the established onset date is appealable. I recently did a video on that and how difficult a decision that can be. And it's definitely not for everybody, by a long shot. So I'll see if I can attach that up in the corner someplace. All right. Take care, guys. I will talk to you later. 5-month waiting period. Thanks. Thank you for joining and taking a listen to this video. If you have any questions that relate to this or anything else with regard to Social Security, disability, retirement, SSI, etc., please do feel free to post it in the comments below, even if it's not necessarily related to this video, and I will see them. And if it's something I can do a video on, I will be happy to do that. If you are looking for representation in a current battle to prove that you are disabled, whether you have applied yet or not, and ideally, if you have not applied yet, that's when we like to come in and start from the beginning and do our wonders. You can go to joydisability.com, look up to your left, and there's a little link for a free SSD evaluation, and we will take a look at it and let you know one way or the other. If you are looking for a consultation, not representation, or you can't get representation for whatever reason, or it's a non-representational type of issue you need to review, you are more than welcome to order a prepaid consultation. It will be with me personally, and that link is on that same page, joydisability.com, but over on the upper right. Anyway, thanks for staying tuned, and I hope to see you every day, 9 a.m. with our little video shares or live Q&A if you want to join me live on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.